الذين آمنوا الذين يقيمون الصلاة ويؤتون الزكاة وهم راكعون. صلوات. We've gathered this evening to commemorate the zarbat of the Imam whose name is our mark of identity. We call ourselves Shi'a of Ali. In these majalis, tonight, tomorrow night, and the night after, 3 or 4 series inshallah, I would like to discuss the most difficult phase of the early history of Islam after the demise of the Prophet. Talk about the issues, what happened? What was the reaction of Ali bin Abi Talib? How could Muslims so soon forget the event of Qadr? And finally, why did not Ali alayhi salam fight for his right of Khilafat? Some of these questions are coming again and again, raised by others also, which comes to our own people, and they ask these questions. That Ali was so courageous, why didn't he stand up and fight for his right? But before I start that discussion, let me say that whenever we talk about such issues, there is always this question that aren't you talking against unity of the Muslims? No. We actually believe in the unity of the Muslims, but this is where we have to understand what does it mean when we talk about unity. Does unity, mean one thing or the other? Well, the essence of the meaning of wahdat, ittihad bain al-Muslimin, is not that the two madahib become one, because that's not going to happen. It has been 14 centuries have passed. When we talk about the concept of unity, there are actually 3 things very important there. Number 1, all Muslims should have this willingness that anyone who says the Shahadatain, we consider that person to be a Muslim. So this business of going and labeling others as kafir should stop. That is the meaning of unity, number 1. Number 2, once we accept anyone who says La ilaha illallah Muhammadun Rasulullah is a Muslim, then salawat. Then the life, the honor, and the property of that Muslim becomes sacrosanct. There is a hurmat there. It is muhtaram. We have to respect that. And number 3, especially for us who live in western parts of the world as a minority, unity also means that we join with other Muslims when we face common problems and common challenges. But unity doesn't mean we ignore our beliefs and the differences which are there on a theological level. Or we say, okay, we will merge the fiqh. One day practice one, the other day we'll practice the other way. One day we pray this one, the other day we'll pray this way. No. We should respect the diversity within the world of Islam, respect one another, and let every group do according to their own fiqh. Similarly, studying history doesn't go against unity. We have to know our history, otherwise our theology will not be really that firm. The main thing in unity is that even when we discuss sensitive and controversial issues, if it is classified in that way, we have to do it in a proper manner, according to the adab and akhlaq, and not resort to abuse and vulgar language. As long as we present issues in a proper manner, there shouldn't be a problem, because this is where we have to look at the reality for our own sake, for the sake of the future generation of the Shia Muslims. Salawat. You know, sometimes we are told, you only want to talk about history. Well, that only a person who comes once in a while will say that. You know, the only person who can really judge me is the one who is with me all the time. You attend all the talks and then you will see whether I only focus on history, or only on theology, or only on akhlaq, or only on azab. You know, we have to have everything there. We can't have only one focus. And history we cannot ignore. There are people who say, why should even we bother about what happened 1400 years ago? There is actually a Canadian philosopher. She actually describes that those who disregard history, actually this is a dimension of intense individualism. They don't care about others. They only, they are self-centered. They say, you know what? Why should I care about what happened 1400 years ago? I am living now. This is my life here. But remember, she uses a very good example. She says, if you look at the word respect, if you really want to have respect for yourself, she says, look at the meaning of the word respect. This is a Latin word, and literally it means to look back. You cannot know yourself and your identity unless you look back in your own history. Otherwise, you don't have roots. And when you don't have roots, you don't have respect. And so if you really want to have respect for yourself, connect yourself to your history, and this is where you will know where you came from. We cannot ignore the history of Rasulullah. We cannot ignore the history of the Imams, especially when it comes to the history of Ali and Fatima, salawatullah alayhim ajma'een. Salawatullah. The issue might seem very simple, talking about those early events. But let me, put it in a way that, inshallah, you will live today having learned something different. Not different, something new. I'm not changing your aqidah. Be assured about it. When we talk about this issue of what happened after Rasulullah, we are talking about Khilafat. We are talking about succession to the Prophet. The Shi'as on one hand have a very clear view. They say that the Khilafat, anyone appointed, as a representative of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Nabi or Rasul or Imam, must be divinely appointed. The appointment should come from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala directly or through the Nabi or the Rasul of the time. Precedence is with us in history. Study the entire history of the Anbiya in the Quran as well as in the Bible. You will not see a single example where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has left the issue of succession and khilafat of any Nabi to the ummah of that Nabi. There is not even a single example. And so history is with us when we talk about this process, that when it comes to designation by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah has taken this issue of His hujjah to be in His hands, whether it's in the form of the Nabi or Rasul or the Imam. Our, Sunni brothers, they have a different perspective. These days, these are the days of democracy. Say they use modern terminology. They say, we believe in democracy. And Saqifa was democracy. That was Shura, where, people sit down, the elders consult one another and make the decision for the community. But this is what I would like to say. Historically, there was no democracy and no shura at all. This is the beginning. Absolutely no democracy, no shura in Muslim history. The first Khalifa came to power, selected by a few in a meeting held in Saqifa, without any public notice to others. Because if it is an issue of asking the elders to consult one another and make a decision, you should have all the elders there of the community. And when I say elders, we are not talking about those who are seniors. they were Ahlul Halli wal Aqd, as they call them. Because we see that in Saqifa, there were very important people who were, from the secular point of view, they could have been potential candidates for Khilafat, and they were absent. Ali was not there. Abbas was not there. Usman was not there. Talha was not there. Zubair was not there. Sa'ad bin Abi Waqqas was not there. Salman Farsi was missing. Abu Dhar Ghifari was not there. Ammar bin Yasir was not there. Miqdad was not there. Abdurrahman bin Auf was not there. If you're looking at it from a worldly point of view, these people should have been there, part of that, consultation and shura by the elders of the community. Amir al-Mu'mineen, when he heard about it, about Saqifa and the arguments that they used, it's very interesting. He has 2 lines of poetry in Nahj al-Balagha where he says, فَإِن كُنْتَ بِالشُّورَى مَلَكْتَ أُمُورُهُمْ. If you have gained authority over their affairs by consultation, because this is what they said, shura. فإن كنت بالشورى ملكت أمورهم فكيف بهذا والمشيرون غيب. Then how did this consultation took place when those to be consulted were absent? They were not there. وإن كنت بالقربى حججت حسيمهم. If you were able to overcome your opponent on the basis of your ties and relationship with Rasulullah, if that was the argument you used, because we are from Quraysh, Rasulullah is from Quraysh, Ali says, فَغَيْرُكَ أَوْلَ بِالنَّبِي وَالْأَقْرَبُ. If your ties with Rasulullah, because of being from the same tribe, was the basis of your victory, then there was someone else who was أَوْلَ بِالنَّبِي وَأَقْرَبُ, who is more closely and more worthier to be related to Rasulullah. And he's referring to himself. If you look at the ties and relationship, I am awla for this according to your own standard and measure. Salawat. The second Khalifa, was there democracy or shura? No. He came to the power on basis of the will written by the first Khalifa. The third Khalifa, he came to power on basis of the committee of 6 people appointed by the second Khalifa. It was not an election by the people. He appointed 6 people. There's a whole story behind it. We have talked about it in the past. We'll leave it for that. And then we go to the days of Imam Hassan. When he signed the peace agreement with Muawiyah, from that day onwards, all the way through centuries till 1924, from that day till 1924, when the system of Khilafat collapsed. Umayyad Khilafat, Abbasid Khilafat, and then you have the Ottoman Khilafat, which ended in March 1924. There is no more Khilafat system in the Muslim world. And all these Khilafat systems were all dynastic. They were all father-son going on. There was no democracy, there was no shura, there was no consultation with people or consultation with the elders of the Ummah. Salawat. So sometimes you hear these slogans, we talk about democracy and consultation, and that is, Islam talked about it 1400 years ago. Come on. You might be able to, misinform, get some credits from the non-Muslims. But those who know history, there was no consultation, there was no shura, there was no, democracy. If you want to see democracy working on its own way, where people in very large number went to a person that said, we won't accept anyone but you, The only example in the history of Khilafat where people made the choice, this is when they came to the door of Ali bin Abi Talib alayhi salatu wasalam. And so this is history. But let me share with you research of somebody from the modern times. You know, if I quote you an alim, they will say, they're all biased. Oh, they are traditionalists. They are this and that. You know, let us just take this example as a hypothesis. If there had been true democracy after the wafat of the Prophet, and there was consultation by the elders of the community in general in Medina, even then, the choice would have been none other than Ali bin Abi Talib alayhi salatu wasalam. There is a very prominent Western scholar of Islam, retired now, Professor Wilfred Medlung. He was teaching in Oxford University. And one of his last work is a very powerful work, a book that he wrote, the title is The Succession to Muhammad. He's talking about the issue of Khilafat. This was published by Cambridge University Press. And he has a very interesting hypothesis. In the beginning, he discusses that if there had been true democracy and true election in Medina, what would have happened? So he's not looking at it from the religious point of view, or he's just as saying, if this would have happened, what would have happened? He says, if you look at the environment of Medina after the Prophet passed away, there were 4 powerful groups in Medina. And each one of those 4 groups actually had the potential of, presenting their own candidate for Khilafat. Number 1, the Ansar, the inhabitants of Medina, led by Sa'd bin Ubadah. The second was the Quraysh Muhajirin group. They were mostly the immigrants, the Qurayshi who came from Mecca, led by Abu Bakr and Umar. The third was Banu Umayyah. Although the leader was Abu Sufyan, but those days he was very weak because the Prophet, accepted him but didn't give any prominence. So Uthman bin Affan would be the leader of Banu Umayyah. And then you have the Prophet's family, Banu Hashim, led by Ali. So you have 4 potential groups who would present their own candidates. Then he says, if you study their background and their mentality and their views, he says, as far as the Ansar are concerned, the majority would have backed Ali bin Abi Talib. The reason why they went to Saqifa and presented Sa'd as their candidate for Khilafat was because when they realized Ali is not being given his right, he is being denied, they said, well, so it means Khilafat is open for grabs by anyone. So they say, okay, we will go. We will try out. So you have Quraysh and Ansar in Saqifa fighting against one another. And, so Ansar would have been with Ali. This is the analysis of Professor Medlung. He says Quraysh. When you talk about Quraysh, led by Abu Bakr and Umar, they would not been, it was not possible for them to kind of, keep Banu Hashim away, because Banu Hashim are also part of Quraysh. And there also, if anything was discussed about the qualities and the relationship, then even there, the candidate would have been Ali. Then he has a very good analysis about Banu Umayyah, Abu Sufyan and Uthman there. He says, although there was always this, fight between Banu Umayyah and Banu Hashim, but Banu Umayyah was so weak during the early days after the wafat of the Prophet that they couldn't present their own candidate. They knew that even if they present somebody, he will be defeated. And keeping in spite of the fight that they have with Banu Hashim, they still are related further up in line. And according to the tribal rules, it would have been difficult for Banu Umayyah to oppose Ali. And they would have also sided with Ali as the candidate. And so basically what he is saying, that the joint backing of the Ansar and Banu Umayyah for Ali would no doubt have persuaded otherwise uncommitted clans and individuals to support Ali's candidacy. And so his conclusion is that the plain logic of dynastic succession would thus almost certainly have asserted itself in a general consultation, for the principle of hereditary clearly provide the most natural, simple, and uncontentious basis for succession to power. And he makes a comment, very interesting. He says, Abu Bakr was well aware that a shura of those most directly involved, Quraysh and Ansar, would not have been in his interest. And therefore there was no shura and consultation. It would have almost inevitably led either to failure or to the choice of Ali as the closest relative of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Salawatullah. This is the analysis of a Western scholar of Islam who is not a Muslim. He is, for us, he is unbiased in that way. And he sees that if things were allowed to continue even from the secular point of view, Ali would have emerged as the Khalifa of Rasulullah. Although we do not believe that is the basis of the Khilafat and Imamate of Ali. It is divine, appointment. But let me make one more comment before I end. If really Saqifa and what happened there was democracy and consultation, why was it never ever repeated in the history of Muslims? Not even for the second Khalifa, not for the third Khalifa, not for the fourth Khalifa, not for Muawiyah, not for anyone. If really this was a very good system, how come it was never ever, repeated? Think about it. The reality of Saqifa, in the words of the author of Saqifa, or a joint author of Saqifa, Umar ibn Khattab, during the last days of his Khilafat, he heard people saying that, well, the way they did it in Saqifa, when he dies, we will immediately just select somebody, and this is referring to the groups of Shias, and we'll declare Ali is our Khalifa. And the way it was accepted in Saqifa, it should be acceptable here. When he heard about it, and this is in Tabari also, Bukhari also, he went on the minbar and he says, I have been informed that somebody said, when Umar dies, I will pledge allegiance to so and so. This is what he had been told. So now he's responding to it. He says, well, nobody should be misled like this, thinking that although the allegiance of Abu Bakr was falta, it became all right. Now, what is falta? In Arabic, falta means a sudden event, done without planning and consideration. So he says, if people think that what happened there, they can repeat it. No, it was a falta, it just happened. And of course, Allah saved us from the evils of that falta. Now, if anyone wishes to copy it, repeat it, I will cut his throat. This is your model of democracy, your model of, shura and consultation, that the Khalifa is saying, anybody thinks about repeating that, I'm going to cut his throat. This is where we have to learn about it. Let the brothers know about it. This is their own history. This is not from the Shia book. Salawat padhne ek baar aur. So there is not even a single, incident where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala left the issue of succession to the ummah. Even Professor Modulung makes it very clear in that same discussion. And, mashallah, he had a good insight. And I sometimes wonder, why was this book written by a non-Muslim? Where are our Shia intellectuals in the academia? They are the ones who should have come with that book. We need a non-Muslim to say that for us? Look at his analysis. He says, the Quran advises the faithful to settle some matters by consultation, but not the succession to prophets. That, according to the Quran, is settled by divine election. And God usually chooses their successors of the prophets, whether they become prophets or not, from their own kin, from their own family. A non-Muslim is studying history and the Quran, and this is his conclusion. That yes, Islam talks about consultation and shura, that the community in major issues should sit down, consult one another and come to a conclusion. But this is only in the areas where, fiqhi issues where you have three ways of doing things which is halal. This is where you consult one another. Not making something halal and haram. No, there is no consultation there. Nor in the matter of succession to the prophets. This is exclusively in the hands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Salawat. Ekbar aur salawat. Even this whole issue, when we look at the way the Khilafats were formed, we have Saqifa's gathering for the first one, and the will of the first for the second Khalifa. Go and study that. The second Khalifa is the one who actually prevented Rasulullah from writing a will. He says, we don't need it. Hasbuna kitab Allah. The book of Allah is sufficient for us. It's amazing that, Rasulullah wants to write a will. If he was going to write about namaz and roza and hajj and zakat and sadaqat and things like that, there wouldn't have been a problem. This was an issue that they didn't like. They knew when he is going to write a will, what is it going to be about? So Rasul is stopped from doing it. But the same person's khilafat is actually based on the will of the first Khalifa. And according to Tabari and other historians, they say, the first Khalifa was in his last moments of life. He called Osman. He said, I'm dictating the will and you write it down. And he reaches to the point where he says that I am appointing after me. When he said that, the Khalifa became unconscious. Later on, when he gained consciousness, he said, can you read what I dictated to you? And Osman says that you dictated to me to write that after me I am appointing Umar ibn Khattab as my successor. He says, mashallah, you knew what was my intention. So the first Khalifa is unconscious, and the scribe knows what he wants and he adds this, and that is valid. When Rasulullah wants to write the will, they say what? He is not feeling well, in a mild manner. The more harsh words are also there in Sahih Bukhari both, that he is not in Nauzubillah in his right sense. And so this is where we have to realize, Muslims unfortunately don't know their history. When they say, don't think about all these things, what happened in the past, this is the reason. Because if you come to know more about it, you know what is haqq. You know it is with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It is with Rasulullah. And after Rasulullah, it is with Ali bin Abi Talib alayhi salatu wa salam. Salawat. ان مجالس میں ذرا حساس موضوع کو ہم نے سلیکٹ کیا ہے، لیکن ہم ادب اور تہذیب کے دائرے میں رہیں گے، گھبرانے کی بات نہیں ہے، صرف ہمیں حقائق کو پیش کرنا ہے تاکہ ہمیں بھی معلوم رہے، اور جب ہماری گفتگو دوسروں کے ساتھ ہوتی ہے انہیں بھی ہم بتا سکیں. But you have to be, polite in presenting your own case. اور اسی اصول پر ہم لوگ چل رہے ہیں. جہاں تک یہ ثقیفہ کا معاملہ ہے، امیر المومنین کا کامنٹ اگر سننا ہے، نہج البلاغہ میں خطبہ نمبر 3، خطبہ شقیہ، اس کے رائٹ ان دی بگننگ میں علی فرماتے ہیں اما واللہ لقد تقمصها فلاں. There are different versions. In some places it says واللہ لقد تقمصها ابن ابی قحافہ. تقمص, what does it mean? He says, by Allah, so and so person put on this shirt of Khilafat. But the word taqammasa, if you look at the Arabic of it, when, for example, sometimes in Arabic, somebody who is pretending to be ill, tamarada. He is not mareed, but he is pretending to be mareed. Taqammasa is from qamis. Qamis, shirt. Even in Urdu we say qamis. Taqammasa means putting on a shirt which doesn't fit you. Wasn't tailored for your size. It was for somebody else. You was, forcefully just put it on yourself. وَإِنَّهُ لَيَعْلَمُ أَنَّ مَحَلِّ مِنْهَا مَحَلُّ الْقُطْبِ مِنَ الرِّحَى. کہ آپ نے وہ پیراہن جو ہے خلافت کا پہن لیا، جبکہ وہ پیراہن بنا تھا میرے سائز کا، یعنی یہ زبردستی کی بات ہوئی. اور جبکہ انہیں معلوم تھا کہ میری حیثیت امامت کے عنوان سے اس محور کا ہے کی حیثیت ہے کہ جو آپ گرائنڈنگ سٹون ہوتا ہے نا، پرانے زمانے میں گیہوں وغیرہ جو پیستے تھے تو وہ 2 پتھر ہوتے تھے، مل سٹون، اور اوپر والے کو آپ ہلائیں گے. But to make it, stable, you need a axis, a pole in between. اس کے بغیر وہ جو ہے it will not be stable. علی کہتے ہیں اگر امامت کو اس شکل میں دیکھیں تو ہم جو ہیں بیچ میں اس کے ستون ہیں. میرے بغیر جو ہے یہ سسٹم صحیح طریقے سے نہیں چلے گا. وَإِنَّهُ يَعْلَمُ, and he knew. then میری یہ پوزیشن ہے. يَنْحَدِرُ عَنِّ السَّيْلِ وَلَا يَرْقَ إِلَيَّ الطَّيْرُ. پھر اپنی فضیلت بیان کرتے ہیں کہ مجھ سے جو ہے علم اور حکمت کا سیلاب جو ہے نکلتا ہے. ہم لوگوں کو سیراب کرتے ہیں اپنے علم اور حکمت کے ذریعے. وَلَا يَرْقَ إِلَيَّ الطَّيْرُ, اور میری بلندی اتنی ہے کہ بہت ہی پاورفل پرندہ بھی پرواز کر کے وہاں نہیں پہنچ سکتا. خداوند عالم نے جو علم دیا ہے ہم وہ وسیلہ بنے ہیں، اور میرا وہ مقام ہے کہ کوئی کوشش بھی کرے تو وہاں نہیں پہنچ سکتا ہے. صلوات پڑھنے پر. اور لیکن پھر کیا فرماتے ہیں ثقیفہ کے واقعات کے بعد؟ فَسَدَلْتُ دُونَهَا ثَوْبًا, کہ ہم نے جو ہے پردہ کھینچ دیا خلافت کے سامنے، اور ہم نے چھوڑ دیا اسے، اگنور کر دیا. اور ہم نے دیکھا کہ اب ہم کیا کریں. میری حالت وہ ہے کہ اگر ہم یا تو ہم جنگ لڑیں اپنے زخمی بازو کے ساتھ. اشارہ تھا کہ ہمیں اتنا مظلوم بنا دیا گیا ہے کہ ہم لڑیں بھی تو ہم ختم ہو جائیں گے، میری اولاد بھی ختم ہو جائے گی، سلسلہ ہی ختم ہو جائے گا۔ یہی ہے کہ اصبرو، یا ہم صبر کریں اتنی بہت ہی اندھیری رات کے درمیان۔ امیر المومنین اس زمانے کے حالات کو بیان کر رہے ہیں، ان پچ ڈارکنیس کی سچویشن تھی اس زمانے میں علی کے لیے۔ اور پھر آخر میں کیا فرماتے ہیں کہ ہم نے فرعیت عن الصبر علی ہذا احجا، بہتر پھر ہم نے یہی دیکھا کہ ہم صبر کریں، لڑیں گے نہیں، تلوار نہیں چلائیں گے۔ وفی العین قضا وفی الحلق شجا، جبکہ ہمارے آنکھ میں بھی وہ اسپائک ہوتے ہیں نا، مشکل تھا آنکھ کو بند کرنا بھی، اور میرے حلق میں میرے گلے میں جیسے ایک ہڈی پھنسی ہوئی ہو۔ وَعَرَى تُرَاثِي نَحْبًا، اور ہم دیکھ رہے ہیں کہ میرے میراث کو لوٹا جا رہا ہے۔ ان چیزوں کو ہم بھول نہیں سکتے ہیں، اس لیے ہم کہتے ہیں ہمارے لیے ضروری ہے ہم سمجھیں کہ علی کا وہ دور کتنا تاریکی دور تھا۔ فرماتے ہیں کہ بالکل اندھیرا تھا، اور اس حالت میں بھی ہم نے صبر کیا ہے۔ یہ نہیں ہے کہ علی کی طاقت جو ہے رسول اللہ کی حیات پر ڈیپینڈ کرتی تھی کہ جب تک وہ زندہ ہیں تلوار چلا سکتے ہیں، نہیں، بعد میں جب وقت آیا، جمل میں بھی تھے، صفین میں بھی تھے، نہروین میں بھی تھے، وہی علی تھی اور علی کی تلوار تھی۔ لیکن مصلحت اسلام کے خاطر خدا کا یہ مجاہد اپنی خواہشات کو دبا لیتا ہے، اپنے حق کو بھی چھوڑ دیتا ہے، اس لیے کہ وہ دیکھتا ہے کہ امت کی بھلائی اسی میں ہے، ورنہ امت جو ہے بالکل ہی منتشر ہو جائے گی اور سلسلہ بالکل ختم ہو جائے گا۔ اور اسی لیے علی نے صبر کیا ہے، لیکن آسان نہیں تھا، اور یہ سلسلہ جو ہے کئی عرصے تک چلا ہے، یہاں تک کہ جب پبلک آتی ہے اور علی سے کہتی ہے، اتفاق سے غدیر کے 25 سال بعد غدیر ہی کے دن 18 ذی الحجہ کے دن پبلک نے آ کے بیعت کی ہے علی کے ہاتھ پہ، لیکن اس زمانے میں بھی انہوں نے علی کو آرام سے نہیں رہنے دیا۔ جمل کا واقعہ ہوا، صفین کا واقعہ ہوا، نہروان کا واقعہ ہوا، یہ فتنہ گر جہاں موجود تھے، یہاں تک کہ جو خوارج تھے جنہوں نے تہیہ کر لیا تھا کہ ہم علی کو مار کے ہی رہیں گے، ابن ملجم ملعون کو تیار کیا گیا۔ یہی ماہ رمضان تھے۔ علی وہ امام عدل و انصاف تھا کہ جو اپنے گھریلو معاملات میں بھی، اولاد میں بھی جب ٹائم کو تقسیم کرتا ہے تو اس پہ بھی سب کا خیال رکھتا ہے۔ شب 19 جناب ام کلثوم کے حصے میں تھی۔ امیر المومنین آتے ہیں اور وہاں افطار کے بعد وقت گزارا، رات جو ہے عبادت میں گزری ہے، لیکن ہر تھوڑی دیر کے بعد ام کلثوم کہتی ہیں کہ ہم نے دیکھا کہ بابا جو ہیں بار بار کمرے سے نکل کے صحن کی طرف جا رہے ہیں، اور صحن میں جانے کے بعد آسمان کی طرف دیکھنے کے بعد کہتے ہیں اللہم بارک، خداوند اس رات کو میرے لیے بابرکت قرار دے۔ اس لیے کہ علی دعا کرتے تھے کہ خداوندہ موت حتمی ہے سب کے لیے، لیکن یہ تیرا بندہ جو ہے بستر پر مرنا نہیں چاہتا ہے، اگر مجھے مرنا ہی ہے تو مجھے اس راہ میں مرنا ہے جو شہادت کا مرتبہ ہے۔ اور جناب ام کلثوم پریشان بھی ہو جاتی ہیں، کہتی بھی ہیں جب سحر کا وقت آیا اور اس کے بعد کہ بابا آپ نہ جائیں، حسن اور حسین کو کہہ دیں آج چلے جائیں۔ مولا کہتے ہیں نہیں، ہمارے لیے جانا ضروری ہے۔ جب آخر میں لے آئیں ایک روٹی اور دودھ اور نمک، اس وقت امیر المومنین کہتے ہیں کہ بیٹا تم نے جو ہے میرے سامنے نمک اور دودھ رکھا ہے روٹی کے ساتھ، ان دونوں میں سے ایک کو لے لو اور ایک چھوڑ دو، اس لیے کہ تیرا بابا جو ہے اللہ کی بارگاہ میں پرشکم کے ساتھ نہیں جانا چاہتا ہے، میرا بطن جو ہے خالی رہے بہتر ہے۔ اس حالت میں بھی صرف نمک اور روٹی کھاتے ہیں اور اس کے بعد پھر روانہ ہوئے۔ لیکن عجیب و غریب بات ہے کہ علی کی کیفیت کو دیکھ کے گھر کے مرغابیوں کو بھی احساس ہو گیا اور گھیر لیتی ہیں۔ بس علی نے ایک جملہ کہا ام کلثوم سے کہ بیٹی میرے بعد ان بچوں کے ان مرغابیوں کے دانے کا شاید خیال نہ رہے، انہیں تم آزاد کر دو تو بہتر ہے۔ مجھے نہیں معلوم ہے ام کلثوم نے کس طرح سے اپنے بابا کو اس جملے کے بعد جانے دیا ہے۔ مولا چلے ہیں مسجد کوفہ میں جاتے ہیں، جو حضرات وہاں تھے ان کو، جو سوئے ہوئے تھے ان کو جگاتے ہیں، اور اس کے بعد اپنے کچھ نافلہ وغیرہ پڑھنے کے بعد پھر نماز کا وقت ہوتا ہے، اذان دیتے ہیں۔ جب لوگ جمع ہو جاتے ہیں، صفیں تیار ہو جاتی ہیں، امیر المومنین امامت کے لیے آگے بیٹھے ہیں، نماز کا وقت آتا ہے، علی کھڑے ہوتے ہیں، پہلی رکعت کا آغاز کرتے ہیں۔ رکوع میں جانے کے بعد سبحان ربی العظیم و بحمدہ کے بعد کھڑے ہونے کے بعد سمع اللہ لمن حمدہ کہنے کے بعد اس معراج میں جاتے ہیں جس کا نام سجدہ ہے۔ بس سجدے میں کیا راز و نیاز ہوا مجھے نہیں معلوم ہے، لیکن علی جب سجدے سے اٹھے ہیں، مومنین آپ جانتے ہیں انسان جب سجدے سے اٹھتا ہے تو تیزی کے ساتھ اٹھتا ہے۔ یہاں علی کا سر تیزی کے ساتھ چلا اور دوسری طرف سے ابن ملجم کی تلوار اسی شدت کے ساتھ آئی اور امیر المومنین کے سر کو زخمی کر دیتی ہے۔ یہ وار علی کے پیشانی پر وہی لگا ہے جہاں عمر بن عبد ود نے خندق میں وار کیا تھا علی پر۔ بس ایک مرتبہ علی نے اپنے سر پر ہاتھ رکھا اور کہتے ہیں فزت ورب الکعبہ، خدائے کعبہ کی قسم علی اپنے مراد میں کامیاب ہو گیا۔ عددادار حسین منادی کی آواز شہر کوفہ میں گشت کرنے لگی، الا لقد قتل امیر المومنین، الا لقد قتل علی المرتضی۔ جب آواز پھیلی ہے جو لوگ اپنے گھروں میں تھے وہ بھی پریشان ہو گئے آ جاتے ہیں۔ عزاداران حسین، لوگوں نے ابن ملجم کو گرفتار کیا تھا، امام حسن بھی پہنچے، حسین بھی آتے ہیں۔ بابا کی اس کیفیت کو دیکھ کے امام نے امام حسن سے کہا کہ نماز کو پورا کیا جائے، اور اس کے بعد ابن ملجم کو جب قریب لایا گیا گرفتاری کے بعد، امام نے اس کے چہرے کی طرف دیکھا، لوگ اسے برا بھلا کہہ رہے تھے، کوئی اس کو تماچا مار رہا تھا۔ اس وقت جو ہے علی نے امام حسن سے کہا کہ بیٹا ارفق باسیرک، اے بیٹا یہ تیرا اسیر ہے، اس کے ساتھ مہربانی سے پیش آؤ۔ حسن مجتبیٰ نے یہی کہا ہے بابا اس نے تو ہمارے یتیمی کا سامان کیا ہے، لیکن یہ امام عدل انصاف کا امام تھا، بس رحمت للعالمین کا واسطہ دیتے ہیں۔ عزاداران حسین، امام کو پھر ایک لحاف میں رکھا گیا اور گھر والے اور خاص اصحاب اٹھا کے پھر امام کو گھر کی طرف جاتے ہیں۔ مجھے نہیں معلوم ہے اس وقت زینب، ام کلثوم اور دوسری اہل حرم کی کیا کیفیت رہی ہوگی، لیکن ہاں آواز دور سے آ رہی تھی جہاں علی نے کہا میرے اصحاب سے کہہ دو کہ گھر کے قریب نہ جائے، میں نہیں چاہتا کہ میری بیٹیوں کی آواز مجمع عام تک پہنچے۔ ماتم حسین،
Jibreel